2016 specifically, the front cameras, the rear trunk latch, and the infotainment, are those able to be retrofitted in a 2015 or 2014? And related to that, the owner's manual for the 2015 says something about a teen driving mode where you can reduce the power, and is that available?
Okay, that was a lot of questions. Basically, yeah, Harlan gives the short answer, no, covers all of them. The infotainment is both hardware and software, and I talked about the PDR that is back serviceable. We try to make things back serviceable when you can, but when you got a hardware change, a lot of times you can't, because it's not just that hardware, it's the way it talks to all the other computers in the car, and there's an enormous number of computers, different modules in the car.
A tire from the factory that would be more of a 12-month-a-year or all-season tire.
We have a big meeting with Michelin, actually a couple of weeks from now, and we're going to talk about that very subject. We've offered, back when Goodyear was our supplier, we offered winter tires or all-season tires, and 90% of the tires were purchased by General Motors engineers, because we were the only ones driving around in the winter. But we do recognize that some people want to have more of an all-season tire, and the truth is, it's like the horsepower wars. There's the chassis wars, and I was talking about braking distance and cornering. That's another war. There's constantly escalating performance, and that's pushing tires to be more and more extreme, and that means you're compromising wet and snow traction. So one of the big things we want to talk to Michelin is, even though you won't sell a lot, for people who really want more all-season performance, we really need to have those available. So we've heard that, and we're going to try to do something about it.
First of all, I'd like to thank you for listening to your customers, because you really and truly
raise your hand, whoever's talking.
Really and truly do listen to your customers. It's very appreciated. I remember asking Harlan in 2013 at the Chicago Auto Show reveal, is there going to be a front curb alert system? And Harlan went like this and said no. Is it possible to get a window indexing software upgrade for the rear hatch? That would greatly reduce the pressure for closing.
We've looked at that quite a number of times. A lot of people know we have indexing door glass. It drops a little bit, like a ½ an inch, every time you open the door to make it easier to close. So the question is, and everybody's noticed this, if the doors are open and the windows are down, the hatch closes much easier. So why don't you just index the glass down more? And there's a couple reasons why we've done. The main reason is it's illegal. There's pinch requirements that would force us to basically redesign the whole thing to index the glass down. The federal government actually requires that you not pull the glass more than 4 millimeters off the seal, which isn't enough to help you close the hatch. You have to drop it down about 1.5 inches, and that violates the pinch protection laws that are in place. The second thing is, we thought people might be confused. It's raining, you go to run something out of the, open the hatch, and all of a sudden the passenger's windows indexes down, and all the water on the roof pours down on the person sitting there, and they might not have the kindest words to speak to you because you're out there getting something out of the trunk. And I'm sorry Harlan had to lie to you. You guys all understand it's a condition of our employment that we lie to customers. So we never talk about future product. We can't. It's what we have to do. We have to keep what is in the future. We have to keep that secret. We have to basically tell you what we're available today, and trust me, we listen to you, and we try to bring stuff out, and we don't intentionally delay. We've been accused of that too. You guys hold back intentionally so that when you bring out this great new feature, you do it just to make us buy a new car. We don't do that. We always are pushing as hard as we can to get as much out as possible, but there is a limited capacity on how much we can do, and so we sort of have to prioritize what we can get out first, second, third year. So thank you for the question. Right here.
Yeah, those of us that remember back to the 60s, many of us had wonderful white interiors and white convertible tops. About a year or two ago, I emailed Harlan and said it would be a great idea to do it as a classic edition. And he said it takes several years lead time. So in front of all of you now, I would, even if it's just for 1 year, if you could, those of us that want a white interior and or a white convertible top, it would be wonderful if you could do that for us.
Yep, I'm right.
Well, I'm not as good at lying as Harlan is. Yeah, I'll get better, I'm sure. We're always looking at new ideas.
But yeah, I mean, light interiors, there's a lot of luxury brands that have light interiors. One of the issues was they get dirty really fast, and white in particular. We've had pushback from our top supplier, very specifically when we tried to do light tops, because they get the warranty when somebody has a light colored top and then it gets dirty and they can't clean it, they bring it back to the dealer and say there's this stain, you know. And for goodwill purposes, you know, we'll replace the top, which is very expensive. And so, you personally, we'll just make one for you. So it's a tough deal. It's a tough deal doing those light colors. But you've seen we have tried to bring more light colors in over time.
Let's take two more because we're going to do the unveiling here shortly.
On the stage 3 arrow to stage 1, the mile per hour delta, what do you figure that is, the difference? About 150, etc.
You're talking about top speed?
Yeah.
The base CO6, stage 1, our claim top speed is 195, and I think the stage 3 is 186, so 9 miles per hour different absolute top. I think, if I'm remembering right.